Hi ladies, welcome back to the Hot and Healthy Hot Seat. I want to tell you who really is the sorority nutritionist and Lauren Hubert, so let's dive in. My story actually begins my senior year of high school. I made the decision to not play soccer in college and actually pursue something completely different compared to my sporty spice self, and I decided to attend Florida State, and I also decided I wanted to join a sorority. So I went through Rush, joined a sorority, and for those of you interested, I'm a Gamma Phi Beta. I always get asked that question. So it was my freshman fall semester of college where I was eating out. I didn't have a car on campus. I was living in a dorm, eating the delicious food at my sorority house. Love me a fried chicken Fridays. I also was drinking a lot because, as you guys can probably imagine, Florida State is kind of known for drinking. And little did I know, a few months go by and I was, working out every single day during this time, but I put on probably around 20 pounds. Now, thinking back to my childhood, I didn't super always love the way that I looked. I sometimes was insecure about certain things, but it wasn't a huge deal at the time. But I actually remember, and I've told this story on my podcast actually, there was a time where someone in my sorority that I was at the gym with, she made a comment to me and was like, "You work out so much. You work out way more than me. I'm shocked you don't look like you work out." And that comment has really stuck with me till this day because I think that's when the veil kind of got lifted off of me that, wow, my habits were kind of like a hot mess. I was working out, I had, chaotic sleep, and honestly, I was really using food as comfort. So that's when the realization hit me that, okay, I had gained weight, and I also started to notice my clothes were fitting differently, and I knew I wanted to make a change. It wasn't until the spring of my freshman year of college that I decided now's the time for me to kind of kick this up a notch. I don't know what kind of switched in my head. I ended up coming back home for the summer before going back to college, and that entire summer I dedicated to losing weight. I decided to basically run every single day. And by the way, I actually came back home and I was a lifeguard that summer because I actually was a lifeguard and swim teacher growing up. So I was by the pool all day. I was working out a ton, literally a shit ton, guys. And I also decided, okay, now's the time. I'm not just gonna work out, I'm gonna get my diet right. I would literally try to get a coffee in the morning, not eat for hours, have a little bite of cucumber, and then 3 p.m. would hit when I would come home from the pool and, being a counselor and lifeguard all day. And I would binge eat all of the pasta in my mom's house because I was ravenous. I literally wasn't eating. This also was when I became a vegetarian, so I really wasn't eating protein. And that's really when the weight loss happened. I lost 30 pounds that summer. I gained 20 pounds and then lost 30 pounds in basically not even 3 months. Went back to college for sorority recruitment, and I literally looked like a different person compared to the person I was before I left school. So this continued throughout my sophomore year of college, and I want to fast forward to actually around my junior year and especially my senior year of college. I just was so restrictive. Throughout this entire time, I used to be so scared to go to happy hour, so scared to go out with my friends, be in social situations with food, and honestly, it created anxiety, but also so much control that it just felt so difficult to maintain this lifestyle. I would just be so obsessed with working out. If I couldn't work out, my mood would change. I would feel like I didn't earn food, and I just felt so bad. And then I still wasn't even super happy. I was so insecure in my body. I didn't feel strong. I was doing all these workouts, but I just didn't feel my best. Also, total reality check. So I used to do body composition testing at Florida State as part of the campus recreation department. And it was so funny because I was actually studying to become a dietitian because I was so obsessed with clean eating, being a vegetarian, dabbling in veganism. And I just didn't have a grasp on what healthy eating was. But then I was working for campus recreation, helping sometimes athletes do what we call VO2 testing and body composition testing, which basically was a test of their aerobic endurance or their composition, their fat mass and muscle mass. And I actually went in the bod pod machine that I was operating, and my body fat percentage was high despite being what I would consider a pretty fairly low weight and also working out so often. So that's when it hit me, and I was like, okay, I'm healthy according to my friends and what my sorority thinks of me, but I don't have my shit together. My relationship to food is crap, and I also I'm not as fit as I thought I was, which was totally a stab at my ego, being a former athlete myself. So it was all of these moments that kind of got me to the place, literally a random day, my senior year of college, I literally went to my sorority house and I was like, I'm gonna eat meat again. I just decided. It was so spur of the moment. I can't even tell you what made me do this. But just years and years, I was a senior at this time applying for my dietetic internship and my master's degree that I was gonna go on and do. And I just knew something was not right. So it was really, really time to make a drastic change. I need to focus on fueling my body. And it was just like a light bulb moment where I realized this wasn't gonna work anymore, and I had to switch my ways and switch my behaviors for me to feel better, even if it felt scary. This is why I have so much empathy for the women that I coach that feel so scared and so vulnerable and just honestly worried about their weight to switch up the way that they're eating, because you might see a little bit of weight gain. Like I actually experienced weight gain even though I was trying to restrict so hard, but my body was just rebelling against it because I lost so much muscle mass. And now as a clinician, a weight loss expert, and registered dietitian, I understand this because when you lose a lot of muscle mass by dieting the wrong ways, not having enough protein and too much of a deficit, you're gonna lose a lot of muscle mass, and your body's number one goal is to get back that muscle mass because that means we're healthy. And that's why how you diet is so important, and also impacts how you're gonna maintain that weight loss once you get it off. So now you're probably wondering, how have I actually kept this weight off for 10 years? It's by focusing on really all the principles I teach my clients and I talk all about all over social media, but it really comes down to viewing food as fuel. Now, when it comes to weight loss, I'm not actively focused on weight loss right now. I think that's pretty obvious from how I'm talking about this all, but I'm really focused on what I call being a fit babe for life. Being a fit babe for life means viewing food as fuel and viewing it as something to nourish your body and not restrict yourself. Even when I coach my clients that do want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds, or even the last 5 or 10 pounds, yeah, you have to be in a deficit, but there will be a point where you're not gonna be in a deficit and you need to maintain that weight loss. And so much of what I believe has contributed to my success in keeping this weight off, despite losing the weight all the wrong ways, and honestly getting my metabolism back to a better place, is eating consistent meals with balanced portions with carbs, proteins, veggies, all the stuff I always talk about with TSN. And most importantly, also having a healthy relationship to food. I do not put foods off limits. There are times I reel it in, as me and my husband like to say. He loves Cape Cod potato chips. I love ice cream, especially JP Licks. I'm living in Boston right now, so love it. So we know our vices and the things that we really love, but it's not about restricting yourself. It's about having awareness around what you're eating, mindfully honoring sometimes cravings or what you love, but really just finding peace with food, because that's how you're gonna maintain this weight loss. And honestly, it's so important for losing weight as well. So I can't believe it, but that's my big 20-pound, well, really 30-pound weight loss story, but then I gained some of the weight back because of my fad dieting, ladies. But I am so happy I got to share this with you and dive a little bit deeper into who I really am and why I'm passionate about what I do. But now I want to know about your story, because the truth is I share my story and it was so hard for me the first time, but because I know it helps women. You might feel so alone right now, like you're the only person that struggles with their weight. You are the only person where losing weight and maintaining a healthy physique and how you look in relationship to food, it looks so easy on the surface for other people, but understand that it's going to take work to repair your relationship to food, or maybe even your weight, and get to where you want to be. But understand that everyone has a story. You are not alone, and there are thousands upon thousands of women who truly get it, and I am one of those people. That was my story, but now I want to learn more about your story, so leave it below in the comments so I can get to know you better. And be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time in the hot seat.